nsfw, what would you change in the porn industry? The dialogue. No woman is actually saying that or making that much noise. Oh yeah, you like me in my? No. Or that one chick who's just like ohmyyyygaaaaaad like stfu. God. Pick guys based on attractiveness, not size. Also have women stop making that one face where they bare their teeth. It's very distracting and I am not into it. Or hey, just actually show a woman finishing for real. When you realize how short most of these actors are, you also realize that they are typically only 6 to 7 inches in length. Notice they only put a little bit in too, like 2 to 3 inches in most scenes. There are some monsters for sure, but most guys have average units on tiny bodies. And GT, when you realize how short most of these actors are, you also realize that they are typically only 6 to 7 inches. Dang, they're really short. Get rid of the cast a TV button, no one asked for it. Satan. Even more suspicious when the button doesn't show, meaning it's already casting somewhere. Websites now auto-delete my browser history when I exit them. I'm an adult. It'd gap about my browser history. Hey, if they want to look at my history, it's their fault. They're not the same after. I don't want to hear about how depraved I am. You looked. Now deal with it like an adult and repress it until it becomes your fetish. If you ask me, the pornography industry really needs some better writers. Let's face it, in this fast-paced day and age, we need something that holds our attention. And while a few frames of a particularly attractive performer might make us click on a video or two, hardly any of us stick around for long enough to get invested in a given scene. The solution, of course, is to have a truly gripping story, something that pulls you in and penetrates you, making your heart pound and your limbs shiver with simultaneous delight and anticipation. Here's what I managed to come up with just now. Paid in Ext, an archaeological dig site. Day, an impossibly attractive woman in a too small shirt and an explorer's hat emerges from a tent. This is VIXXY, an archaeologist. She surveys the area around her for a few moments. Biff. Dr. Vixie. Dr. Vixie. Vixie turns to see a fit young man rushing toward her. This is Biff, a graduate student. VIXXY. Biff, you're all sweaty. We should get you out of those clothes. Biff, there's no time. You have to come over to the tomb, fast. VIXXY. Oh, I have to come, do I? Biff, that is literally what I just said. You won't believe what we've uncovered. VIXXY. Is it something big? Biff, it's potentially enormous. Unthinkable, even. VIXXY. Do you think I can fit the whole thing in my mouth? Biff gives Vixie an incredulous stare. Biff, are you feeling alright? Dr. Vixie. VIXXY. Not as good as I will be later, I'm sure. And these clothes are so restricting. Biff. Yes, well, we'll have the porter bring you a larger size. Now really, hurry. Vixie watches with evident irritation as Biff runs away, but moves to follow him. Cut to int, an archaeological dig site. The tomb. Biff stumbles down a set of recently excavated stairs into a spacious crypt. A sarcophagus is nearby, its lid ajar. After a few moments, Vixie saunters down from outside. VIXXY. It certainly is private down here. Biff. Yes, sure, whatever. Look it. VIXXY. Do you know what else is private down here? Biff. Dr. Vixie. Please. You won't believe this. With a resigned sigh, Vixie moves over to look at what has captured Biff's attention. Inside the sarcophagus is what appears to be perfectly preserved man, his ebony skin like a mountain range of muscles. He appears to be naked, but the lid of the sarcophagus makes him impossible to see below the waist. VIXXY. What an incredible specimen. Biff. It's a statue. VIXXY. What? Biff. That's not even the interesting thing, though. Even with our current technology, we couldn't carve something nearly this lifelike. What's more, well, I don't want to sound insane. VIXXY. Look, Biff, are we ever going to get to the fun part? Biff. See, as far as we can tell, there's actually an electrical current running through the entire figure. If I didn't know better, I'd say it was. Biff trails off as Vixie rolls her eyes, shoves the lid of the sarcophagus further open, then reaches toward the statue's crotch. Biff. That's assault. VIXXY. It's a statue. Biff. Okay, fair, but suddenly, the statue's statue's eyes open and begin glowing with a yellow light. Its head turns to face Vixie, and the faint sound of rapid, high-pitched tones becomes audible. Several seconds pass, after which the statue sits upright. Biff falls backward, yelping with terror, while Vixie begins to look unreasonably aroused. The statue speaks with a deep, semi-mechanical voice. Statue activation complete. Imprinting complete. How may I serve you, Master? VIXXY, you are an incredible specimen. Statue, please restate command. Biff, Dr. Vixie, it's impossible. We need to find out where it comes from. VIXXY, that's an excellent idea, Biff. Well, then, show me where you come from. Cue funky porno music as the film continues. Vixie, Biff, and their statuesque companion find themselves in pursuit of a mystery that brings them to the furthest corners of the earth. They discover incredible secrets about the origins of humanity, our place in the universe, and even what the future may hold. This is no mere academic quest, though. Now that the statue has been activated, time is counting down to a cataclysm unlike any that the world has ever seen, and the only way to stave it off is to find, seduce, and satisfy the other guardians of cosmic pleasure. TLDR, please produce potent pornographic plots. Pornhub, let's crowdfund this. No more camera angles where the guy's butthole is winking at me. Of all the things I want to see in a guy's butthole is pretty far down the list. Just balls in. Nobody wants that. I mean, speak for yourself. Less incest role play garbage. So you want the real thing. More average size penises. I agree, made millions of men and boys insecure about their. Something that I find hilarious is that big is a pretty common theme in obviously male-oriented, heterosexual. So that suggests that it's heterosexual men that like big, more hand-holding. And, yep, how about a wholesome category on websites? Not ending every scene with a facial, are generally acting like 9 out of 10 girls wants to blow bubbles with you and play with it. Yeah, that isn't emo. The fact actresses thrown ridiculously fake moans and the camera is usually focused only on the girl. Also usually they use girls they find appealing in old men with beer stomachs. I think it's worse for men to see parts of these old dudes in than average guys. I'm not even looking for Mr. Muscles in, just regular kind of people for all tastes. No plastic Barbies screaming, oh god, oh yes, like a broken record, and not weirdos like our old fat uncle that does nothing but drink beer all day. Less rape, human trafficking, and sexual abuse off the actors. I think the really scary part for me is that I sometimes just don't know how illegal something is when I watch it. It's just fucked up. I just tend to stick to the amateurs. At least I know that's kinda above the board. How do you know the amateur stuff is above the board in ISNT? Something like revenge. Get rid of the weird, unrealistic screaming and moaning of the females. Get rid of the 1000% zoom scenes where you just see an A as close up as it gets. Subtitles and optional depixelation of all Japanese. Preach. More directed by women, with female perspectives in mind. A lot of features women being used, abused, and showcased, with very little attention to what women actually like. Some of the filthiest gonzo I've watched were directed by women. They are also usually the camera person who's filming these teen girls getting drilled in the. Many of the kink.com series are directed by women. I honestly don't mind roughness in. I don't want to see a married couple having slow, passionate after going out on a romantic date. It's too realistic. Sure would be cool if they cut down on the human trafficking. Probably better pay and benefits for workers. The documentary After Ends really changed my view on the industry. A lot of those women get treated like. There's also a lot of misogyny, racism, homophobia and transphobia. Overall, not a really great situation. Don't forget all the rape. Tons of stories of production companies changing the terms of the contract to include things the actress is uncomfortable with, but they get coerced into doing it out of fear of being blackballed. Oh, by the way, this is an anal scene now. We get more money if it's your first. Stop showing men only with her. Bring a level of intimacy to that would change the way people have IRL. Be more focused on the women's pleasure and comfort as an industry. Fake screaming and the words might would be banned. I would create realistic scenarios, i.e. roll over I'm horny. Hey, you awake? Why is it that is sometimes the best? No romantic evening or anything like that, just can't sleep. Might as well. I would bring back the 1970s and 1980s porno soundtracks. The chicka chicka boom boom music was classic. I believe you're thinking of Bo Chicka Wow Wow tilde tilde tilde. Sake. It's brown chicken, brown cow, better, please. I'd like to see real bodies, short fingernails, and actually enjoyable acts, not the very fake shows put on for men. More importantly, actresses who are definitely over 18 please, and look at what you don't where a lady shoves her heel up another lady's strangely unmoist tunnel or has 2-inch nails up there. Women actually finishing. Like it's so hard to find videos of het couples where the woman seems to genuinely get off. Like forsakes her is right there, just rub it a bit while you're pounding her and you'll both be better off for it. On a similar track, no more videos where she's got a monster of a French manicure. I'm in physical pain when I see that. Actually hot male actors, not just guys with big and nothing else, go for better treatment of everyone involved for everything from consent to ownership of their work. It'd get rid of the horrid acting. I came to watch, not acting. It too. Already, I've started seeing this on X Hamster. There are vids like 2 to 3 minutes long, pretty much just the end of the action and the money shot. None of this suspiciously round 5/10 minute videos where it just keeps going and cuts off. That's BS. More generic looking people. Vanilla. Way less incest. More women behind the camera. I don't like listening to two dudes talking to each other while one is banging. Husband and wife scenarios. Every video has to be taboo, so now the traditional stuff seems kinda odd. I wanna see a dad come home from a blue-collar job late with the house a mess, toys everywhere, and a flustered wife doing dishes after finally getting the kids to bed. The husband knows how to help her relieve some stress. She swats his hand away the first few times, but after a few tries, she's ready to go. And now they have to keep Yahoo love making to a whisper or the kids will wake up. And the step-sibling and DTEP mother storylines. Jesus, what is up with that? Fewer talkative camera operators. Oh, you know, all the trafficking and slavery is something I could do without. The quick cut back to the guy's face. That's not what I need to be seeing right before I make mine. More affection between the two. All the slapping and calling the girls etc. I cannot, as a guy, understand why that is enjoyable. If someone's a dirty, why are you her? Or when guys spit in the girl's face. It's like, really? I mean, if the girl is fine with it, cool, I guess, but I hate that. Edit. It's even worse when they make the girl open her mouth and just drop a line of drool into her mouth. It makes me want to vomit every time. Mainstream porn stars in passionate scenes. Get the women to shut the up sometimes. I'm a woman and I know there is no reason to ever be screaming that loud. Stop with the spitting and slobbering. It's not. Please stop focusing on the dudes at the best parts. One of the reasons why I don't watch. You can just feel the ego of the male when the camera pans to include them in the shot. Like, dude, it's bad enough I am seeing your I don't want to see the body it's attached to. Such a turn off. Like, you could say it's for the girl watching, but no, there's separate for that. Then you have the dude that shows up when it's like,